Hey there, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, my name is Juliet. I'm a person test of English tutor. In today's video, I want to talk about retell lecture. Now, retell lecture is the fourth task in the PTE speaking. It's actually a straightforward task, but most times people just say, oh, not this one. I mean, people that might have written this exam before, or people that might have just had a scan through what the tasks are in the speaking module. They think it's a difficult task. And the reason why I'm doing this video today is just to debunk that fact that the retell lecture isn't a difficult task. Stay tuned while I show you what to do in this task. First of all, you have one or two of these tasks on exam day, and this task contributes scores to both the speaking module and the listening module. Now, people say, but it doesn't contribute a lot of scores to the listening module. I agree with you. However, one score can be the game changer. That is what I tell most of my students. Why? Because I've seen people that would score 64 when what they actually need is 65. And because of just one mark, they will end up rewriting the PTE. I know here in Australia, that exam is about $385, inclusive of, I think, GST. Yeah, and in Nigeria, is about 80-something thousand naira. So imagine you playing down on one task because you feel it doesn't contribute a lot of scores to other tasks or to other module. Therefore, you won't put in effort. I mean, you have to give this task your best shot, or any task at all in the PTE, because just one score from those tasks can help you get the desired score that you need. Now, one thing you need to know about this task is that you really have to pay attention. Because you need to listen to an audio. Remember, you'll be given an erasable notepad where you take down points. So there are a few tips I'm going to be sharing here. The first tip is, do not get distracted. Stay focused, pay attention, and take down important things from the audio. So the first point is pay attention. The second tip I want to share here is, do not try to write whole sentences like the audio is saying, because the task or the lecture is mostly on the fast notes. Not like too fast that you cannot take down notes, no. But it may be too fast. So before you want to decide to finish up writing a sentence, they might have said heaps of other things which will be difficult for you to catch up with. So what you need to do is this. Take down keywords that are relevant. Remember, this is a computer-based exam. And if you can take down keywords that were mentioned in the audio, the computer will identify those words when it's grading you. So what are keywords, Juliet? For instance, if they're talking about agriculture, I'm certain that you'd hear words like soil aggregate. Maybe you hear words like manure, like fertilizer. You could hear words like maybe sandy soil or soil aggregate. I mean, those kind of words. Now, those are the kind of words you need to take down. Not words like was, where, she, is. Those are not relevant, or against, before. No, you can just take down words like soil aggregate is very important, and the nutrients of the soil makes for important crop production. So you can say soil aggregate. You can say soil aggregate is very important. The nutrient of the soil. Those are the kind of words that you need to take down. You didn't hear me say was, is, no. And another point I want to raise here, for those keywords that I've asked you to take down between 10 to 14 of these keywords. That way, you have a lot of things to talk about once you hear the audio, or once the audio finishes and it's your turn to talk. Remember, the audio lasts between, I think, about 0 seconds to 1 minute plus some seconds. And immediately the audio finishes, you're given 10 seconds to put yourself together. And then you hear a beep. Once that beep goes, you're supposed to start speaking to your mouthpiece or the microphone of your headset. And make sure you speak clearly. Say something about the lecture talks about this, this, and this. And the speaker said this, he reiterated this, and this. Or he explained this, and this, and this. So do not just say, the lecture talked about agriculture, the speaker said soil aggregate, the speaker then said lion, the speaker then said manure. No, just keep it simple. Have a bit of a complex compound sentence while you talk, okay? Make it look like you know what you're doing, and just keep it simple. Speak between 20 to 30 seconds, okay? And this is where practice comes in. As you practice, try to time yourself to speak between 20 to 30 seconds on all these websites that we'll practice with. That way, you know what you're doing exactly. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and take 1 or 2 examples. Let's just see how you can do this task on exam day.
Of co-evolution by organisms. Most of the world's ecosystems are the result of millennia of coevolution by organisms, adapting to their environment and each other until a stable balance is reached. Healthy ecosystems maintain this balance via limiting factors, environmental conditions that restrict the size or range of a species. These include things like natural geography and climate, food availability, and the presence or absence of predators. For example, plant growth depends on levels of sunlight and soil nutrients. The amount of edible plants affects the population of herbivores, which in turn impacts the carnivores that feed on them. And a healthy predator population keeps the herbivores from becoming too numerous and devouring all the plants. But even minor changes in one factor can upset this balance, and a sudden introduction of non-native organisms can be a pretty major change. A species that has evolved in a separate habitat will be susceptible to different limiting factors, different predators, different energy sources, and different climates. If the new habitat's limiting factors fail to restrict the species' growth, it will continue to multiply, outcompeting native organisms for resources and disrupting the entire ecosystem. Species are sometimes introduced into new habitats through natural factors like storms, ocean currents, or climate shifts. The majority of invasive species, though, are introduced by humans.
Okay, so we'll be giving 10 seconds to speak, and then so these few seconds I'm looking at what I have, so I'll be ready to speak. Now that's the bit. So I'm going to go ahead. The audio that was played was very interesting. The speaker focused on ecological balance and the ecosystem. He talks about co-environment and healthy ecosystem, how they maintain this balance. He talked about environmental system and natural geography. The speaker focused on levels of sunlight, soil nutrients, and edible nutrients. He also talked about healthy predator population and separate habitats. In conclusion, this audio was really very interesting as it focused on ecological balance. Now, I see how I talked about it. That's the way you should go about it. Just pick up, write down as much keywords that were used in the audio as you're able to write down, because those are the things you're going to feed the template on, and then speak about it. I'm just going to take a second one so you see how easy it is.
Hair loss can be a sensitive topic for a lot of people. While certain life events and old age can lead to hair loss, sometimes it can be caused by a health condition. One such condition is alopecia areata. Alopecia areata is a condition that can cause your hair to fall out more than normal. The average person can pretty easily lose up to around 100 pieces of hair a day from their scalp, with most of that growing back. Alopecia areata is when that hair loss gets more significant and you have trouble getting that hair to grow back. The amount of hair that falls out varies from person to person, but it can be anything from small, rather unnoticeable patches to greater amounts of hair loss as the patches increase in size and connect with each other. We often think of this as hair loss relating to what's on top of your head, but this condition can also include hair loss in places like your eyebrows and eyelashes, as well as your face and other parts of your body. According to the National Alopecia Areata Foundation, this condition is fairly common, affecting as many as 6.8 million Americans with a lifetime risk of 2.1%. While there's no cure, symptoms can come and go. It might develop slowly, then go away for a few years before coming back. Alopecia areata can lead to alopecia totalis, where you lose all of the hair on your scalp, or alopecia universalis, where you have total hair loss. Generally, when and if your hair ever does grow back, it might fall out again later on. It often first shows up with children, but can begin in any age group.
Yeah, so they give me 10 seconds to retell this lecture. Oh no, 10 seconds to prepare. Then once I hear the beep, I'll retell the lecture, and I'm going to do that now. The audio that was played was very interesting. It focused on hair loss and sensitive topic. It talked about health condition, alopecia areata, where there is hair fallout or more than normal. It talked about people losing 100 pieces of hair and more significant hair loss. It talked about unnoticeable patches and greater amount of hair loss. The speaker focused on hair loss on eyebrow and eyelashes. He also talked about National Alopecia Foundation, how about 6.8 million Americans lose their hair in a lifetime risk of 2.8 million. He talked about alopecia totalis, and we can also have alopecia universalis. In conclusion, this is a very informative lecture. Now, I want you to know that I actually spoke for a longer time because I got more of the keywords here. However, you don't need to do that. What you need to do, just get keywords between 8 to 12 or 8 to 14 words, and then you fix it in this template and go on, talk about what you've heard. Now, I want to say something also very profound. Your fluency is important as well as your pronunciation. As much as possible, try to pronounce the words like the speaker. You heard him say something like alopecia areata. So that's the way you should talk about it. You cannot say alopecia areata, though. He said alopecia areata. These are important things you need to know. And you can see I wasn't hesitating. I was saying, he talked about, I was fluent, I was clear enough, I wasn't too fast. So these are the things that you need to know. Get it? So guys, that's how that task is done. Now I'm going to be also leaving the template here of this task, so that you can try out with the templates and try to do this task. Remember, templates are not cast in stones. That means that even without this template, you can still pass. But templates just helps you to maintain your oral fluency, especially if you're tensed in the exam. This brings me to the end of this video. Remember to give me a thumbs up always. Remember to subscribe to this channel if you haven't, and most importantly, give your girl a super thanks. Super chat me here if this channel has been of help to you. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.